What's going on, everybody? I'm Mateo. This is Ignorant the Podcast, where I invite all sorts of different people to make me less ignorant to who they are, what they do, how they do it, what it takes to do it, and the perspective they have on life. With that being said, they have Andrei, a.k.a. Mr. Duffy.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Pleasure to be here. Appreciate you for having me as a guest, man.
No problem. Like I said, I checked out your website, found some interesting stuff. I want to go ahead and give you a chance to introduce yourself formally the way you like to be introduced, so go ahead.
Oh, I appreciate you. I'm blessed to be here, man. God is good. Yeah, so like you said, my name is Andrei, Mr. Duffy Nichols II. I know I gave y'all the full government out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand on that.
Yeah.
I am Mr. Duffy, a hustler, social influencer, a director of impact, a man of many hats, but someone who's just focused on making an impact and creating a legacy, you know, for myself and my community. And over the past few years, I've been able to accomplish a lot within a short time span because I'm only 23 years old.
Okay, nice.
And
I was wondering.
My whole mission towards life and towards things is just to execute, to just go after everything, bet big on yourself. That's the whole brand of DuffySzn, self-investment. And so I'm a Michigan State Spartan. I'll be graduating soon. I got about 30 credits left, excuse me. So longer than expected, but you know what I'm saying? That's life. So I'm happy where I'm at. Career is going good with me being a brand consultant as well as working with project management logistics company on the side. Yeah. And just hands-on with my mentoring program and Detroit native, different projects I have working on right now. So
what part of Detroit you from?
I'm from the West Side, 6 Mile to be exact. So shout out to the West Side, man.
Cool.
And so I'm excited to be here to see what we can talk about.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. Like to have
absolutely
young entrepreneurs, especially minorities, because you know you don't see that very often. I like to definitely highlight that. You know,
I appreciate it.
Because I moved to Arizona for a while.
Okay.
And that was the first time I started seeing people of color that were actually successful in other ways other than just working in the factory or athletes or hustling the corners. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw everything, like you know, Mexican and Black, Arabic, Asian, all sorts of just business owners, like whatever they were. You know, then I learned that there's so many different career paths out there. You know what I mean?
And you said you was in Arizona?
Yeah. So that's something I'm trying to hear is, you know, because if I wouldn't have left, I like wanted to be, like, I wanted to just be a little hood dude, like a little gangbanging ass kid, like, you know, like before, like when I was a kid, that's like, that was cool, like, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
And, you know, there's nothing but surrenders and counts around here, and that's all that, you know, and I'm glad I moved away because it changed my whole perspective on life and, you know, made me realize what else is out there. Then made me realize, you know, like it's you don't have to be a product of the system, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's
I
easy
agree with
to
that.
be a product of the system. It's hard to
is.
break out of it, kind of, but you know, you don't have to be it. You know, sometimes people think that's all they got. You know, and when I saw your website and stuff, I was like, oh, this is great because you're already working on stuff like that too. I saw with your, what is it, Suits for, what is that?
Yeah, so the Suits for Success Youth Mentoring Program.
Yeah, okay.
So I started that in 2016 alongside my co-founder, Vice President Kyle McMurtry. And we wanted to create something at Renaissance High School at that time, but that's our alma mater. And we were part of Senate, which was student government at other schools may call it. And so when we were senators, I came up with the idea of I wanted to do a mentoring program. Yeah. And I approached Kyle because we were like-minded individuals, still are, and he was like, let's do it. So we got together the program, the agenda, and we got the flyers up. We marketed it for about a week or two, and we got a group about like at least I'll say 20, 25 young men to come out. And that was special because you have two seniors at the time.
Oh, so you were in high school?
Yeah, in 2016, we were two seniors who had this amazing idea but didn't know what type of outcome was going to come. Because you see a title at a predominantly black school, Suits for Success. Our traditional uniform is burgundy, polo, white polo, cargos, you feel me? So we're not expecting to be professional. It's Renaissance High School. Of course, you know, we stand on academics, but at the same time, a lot of young men are either athletes or they're either very interested in academic games, ROTC, just different extracurricular activities outside of, business, professionalism, career. So we wanted to put a heavy emphasis on that. And so we were able to get a group that let me know that, all right, this is something that we can take off.
Yeah,
and you fast forward 5 years later, we have our own scholarship fund called the Suits for Success Scholar Award. Last year, we awarded 4 students, so we had a pool of $1,000 that was raised. They all got $250 worth of scholarships. 2 students from Renaissance, 2 students from Cast, and upcoming 2022 will be the second year of me being able to have my own scholarship fund through my mentoring program.
Yeah, that's tight.
So right now we've just been doing a lot of redevelopment and restructuring the organization as far as curriculum, how we're going to incorporate our philosophy in our workshops into the actual school system. So what I mean by that, in the Detroit community district, the Detroit Public School Community District.
Yeah, DPSCD.
Yep, they have 4 quarters. Yeah. So our model and our program is, based off of that. So each quarter we have 4 different, areas, which are academic excellence, professional development, financial education, and social engagement. So we want to make sure that we cover all aspects of life. You got to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You got to make sure you're taking care of your finances. You got to make sure you're taking care of your academics, your education and learning. So through my mentoring program, I get to encompass me, but pouring into other young men who look like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I had mentors growing up. Other people didn't have the opportunity to have that privilege. Yeah. So I want to make sure that if I have the resources and the capacity to be a helping hand to somebody else, I'm on that. You feel me? Without a doubt. Whatever I got to do. Yeah, shirt off my back, you got it. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm gonna get mine back regardless. So that's just how I'm built. That's just my heart. I love just helping people.
If I got it, my community got it. That's
exactly.
That's how it's got to be. Because and that's how they are in the burbs and stuff, and that's how this shit lasts so long. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we gotta bring that energy to our hood. And you know what I mean?
I got to make sure that's that energy, that love, stay recycled. Within our communities for sure, especially as minorities.
Exactly. And we gotta change our whole perspective on things. I try to, every time I see my park, I live across the street from Clark Park. Every time I see it dirty, I go out there with trash bags and just start cleaning it up. And I know it's the high school kids trash it, but I'm like, hopefully they see people from the community clean it up. They'll think twice before they
all it take
just ruin it. You know what I mean? So, but I like the social media marketing and branding. Because that's like a new career path that hasn't been around for hasn't been around for 10 years really.
It's been exploding.
So and that's also a great career that people can get into without necessarily needing a whole college degree or whatever. It's like as long as they can get access to a laptop or something, then a lot of people can start that business.
For sure.
So how's that working for you, and how's that going?
Yeah, so I am a brand consultant, and the company that I created is called the Duffy Enterprise, LLC, and we specialize in providing strategic solutions to create. I've been working on my 30-second picture. This is low-key, very good practice for me. Yeah. So, yes, I am a brand consultant, and my company, the Duffy Enterprise, we specialize in providing strategic marketing and branding solutions for other people, businesses, and organizations. And we do that by utilizing a philosophy of design thinking. And it's a 5-step process that is housed within 3 different categories of immersion, ideation, and implementation. Okay. So, to sum that up, I feel as though the best way to solve problems is humanizing the actual process of that.
Yeah, instead of automating it like everybody else wants to do.
There's a different type of chemistry and aura you get when I can sit down, physically walk you through how to get through a certain situation, a sort of whatever problem. Yeah. And I found that I have a very good social influence in terms of my social media on Twitter and Instagram, but also me studying marketing. I noticed that my business knowledge has been able to propel my brands, bring me in income, but also I look at myself as a resource to other entrepreneurs. Yeah. Now it's to the point where I'm creating value, but also I'm being compensated in return. So it's a mutual feeling between my audience as well as what I provide as a service through my business. So right now I've launched my strategic planning sessions or strategy sessions, and I have 2 available right now. One of them is called the Sticky Situation, and the other is called Let's Carpool. So one versus the other is a one-on-one or 1-2 combo if you have like a company where there's a co-founder and a founder.
Yeah.
And I sit you down and we walk through exactly what social media problems that you may be facing, what marketing campaign development that you need assistance with, how to strategically organize your thoughts, your vision, your goals, and create a roadmap for success for you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people approach social media, business, technology without a roadmap or no type of plan. They just say, I see it, I like it, let's do it. If they know that this is the hot trend, exactly. If it's a reel that's hot, let's do the reel. If it's a TikTok that's hot, let's just copy the TikTok. But there's a strategy, there's an algorithm behind all of these things that's happening. Like there's no coincidence that we could sit here and talk about podcast equipment, how we like Instagram, and then an hour later we open up Instagram, there's podcast ads.
Exactly.
There's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a science behind all of this.
100%.
So as a brand consultant, I like to sit down and walk people through like, hey, this is how you strategize your movement, your actions, and then this is the engagement that you can get in return. And ultimately that turns into, dollars. And so I've been doing that for the past almost upcoming 2 years. So my company was founded January 13th, 2020. Okay. So I'm approaching my 2-year anniversary. Shout out to the Reds. The beautiful women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That's their Founders Day. So definitely wanted to show them some love. So just a coincidence that those were 2 historic dates.
That's fun.
But other than that, man, I just been grinding. Every day is a new grind. My brands just making sure that people see me. Because the more I can put myself out there, the more I know that I can help out other people, and then we can collaborate and just create. I'm just very in that creative mindset right now.
100%. I agree. So how's that? What's going on with Rocket Mortgage, and what are you doing for them?
Okay, so Decked Out Detroit is going on right now up until December 31st, and it's a collaboration between Rocket Mortgage, Rocket Community Fund, Bedrock, Bees Detroit, Cadillac Lodge, and they have business pods set up along like right across the street from like Campus Marshall's Park, around that area.
Those get nicer and nicer every year too.
Yeah, they definitely do a good job of set up. Like the pods are like mini stores.
And they used to be like, it started out like kind of like igloos or kind of like little plastic covers, and now they're all fancy and nice and shit. Yeah,
they do a very great job with the setup and the construction for that for sure. And inside the Cadillac Lodge Bees Detroit tent, every weekend, the company I work for, which is called Solution Architects, we handle the entertainment vending within the back end of the tent. So we have had different pianists, violinists, vocalists, DJs, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who we feel as though could be a nice addition to the family environment, the winter, fall, activities that go along like ice skating, and there was the drive-in. We just want to make sure that experience downtown was just a unique one, just because everybody enjoys the holiday season. We wanted to make something that was safe, fun, and my roles and responsibilities are to communicate with the different vendors that we have, making sure that if they need anything help loaded in, communication as far as any equipment that may be necessary, producing content for them as well, whether that be pictures or video, getting information out on social media through different marketing channels and things of that. So I'm almost like a one person that you put me somewhere, you need a job, exactly. I just adapt to the situation. So that's what that project that I have right there I was working on.
That's cool. So we were talking about it though at one point. It's like, as entertainers, we were like, well, in general, we were like the only people of color there, but we were also the entertainers. And it's
Absolutely.
Like, how do we get more people of color to come down, and the hood? How do we get the hood to come down, downtown and enjoy all that stuff that they're working on and creating? Because like if they don't, then we're just getting more gentrified. We got like take ownership of this space.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And like it was, you can tell people were entertained, but they no disrespect or anything, but there's just a bunch of older white people or younger white people, and it's like they were like clapping and stuff like that. But I feel like our community would have had way more fun in that environment and still been a Christmas vibe and shit like that. But like, we were just sitting there looking around like, man, like, what's going on? I know it's overpoliced and there's things like that, but it's like, how do we get our people to come enjoy this shit more?
Bro, that's a great question that a lot of businesses need to ask themselves, because people like you who are a minority and they're part of great organizations that produce art and creative create things like this, especially like with dance. You all need to be at the forefront, and our community needs to know about these things. I think that's where it starts at, is just getting the information out, like making sure that key stakeholders within the community are aware, whether that's social influencers or different black organizations and storefronts that can post a social media post. That's the bare minimum, you know what I'm saying? But I feel as though that it also takes collaboration with the right people. If the right people don't know about what's going on, then the word won't get spread out as much. I know for somebody like myself, I love to immerse myself with whatever is going on within the city of Detroit, the city of East Lansing, and surrounding communities like that. And the only reason why I say those specific two cities, because I'm from Detroit and I attend Michigan State. So those two cities alone, I got to see what's going on up there, what's going on as far as like the college campus atmosphere, because I'm a part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and I got to make sure that we run in the yard every day. So being a pro fight, making sure my neos is good, as well as being a future alumni, making sure that my mentors they need any help, making sure that the future generation of Spartans, they need help, and then on the back end, being home at Detroit, what community organizations or events are happening. How do I connect with these key people and let them know, like, hey, every weekend these individuals will be down at campus marches. Let's bring the people out. But I'm only one person. It takes these businesses, these organizations to realize, like, okay, we need about 100 more people like that to be out on the streets and getting the word out. If it's street teams, if it's different ambassadors that have to be used, like, I feel we got to just stretch the limits and utilize all our resources. But at the same time, there's budgets in place. There's different type of policies. And, when you get to talking like big companies, organizations like that, they have like a model that they may follow, or they want a certain person to activate those strategies. So it's a push and a pull type of thing. But I feel as though us creating that conversation, being able to talk about it, it'll cue somebody else's mind. Say, okay, they brought up a great point. Let's reach out to them and say, like, hey, let's bring y'all to the drawing table. You know what I'm saying? So like when you post this content, you post it, you could probably tag Rocket Mortgage on this part and say like, hey, here's one way that we could better deck out Detroit for the future. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. I feel as though we gotta make sure that pressure is felt. Like y'all in our city. You feel me? Like
you just gotta kick us out.
Exactly. Not even kick us out. Like if y'all want to produce certain events, make sure y'all letting us know, because this is one of the if not blackest city in America. So my thing is, if you know that off top, minorities in general, on top of black people, we run this. If you want to be real, especially when it comes to the culture. Exactly. And so at the same time,
that's
if
the
you
thing.
You know
Especially
what I'm saying? And if you have events that engulf the culture, why aren't you talking to the key stakeholders? And if you need help finding them, ask. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to have black marketing teams, at black people in power and position to produce these type of events. And I'm so blessed to be able to be a part of a black women-led organization, with Solution Architects. So shout out to Miss Summer Woods. She's spearheading a lot of stuff.
So what is that? You said you already brought that. What is that?
The company I work with.
That one that you're talking about, the woman one.
Oh yeah, so Summer Woods, she is my mentor through Midnight Golf program, and she is also the owner with Solution Architects, as well as with Woods and Watts. She's a co-founder with them. So she does a lot with diversity, equity, inclusion, project management, logistics. Like, this woman her resume is probably like 4-5 pages. I ain't even gonna catch it. From the Super Bowl to Q Line and One Rail, to Midnight Golf, to her. She's a black woman, first of all, who received the full ride scholarship on within the sport of golf.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? Like, not many people hear about that, know about that, as well as she is a woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? The first black intercollegiate sorority founded on this beautiful world. So my thing is, she has been an extreme push in my life. She's been an extreme leader in my life, and the thing that she's been a part of has just influenced me and made me want to go harder. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So she's somebody who thinks like us.
Yeah.
She wants to make sure that people who are of color are at these tables who have a say-so.
Yeah.
And to be able to produce certain type of events, to be able to be a part of different type of activations and engagements, that you all have that face value.
Yeah.
That people see you all, people get your Instagram, your website. That way you all can go to their community.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, growth and expansion. Growth more so from an internal standpoint, and then expansion of like, okay, now we can go outside of where where we're comfort or where we're used to.
Yeah.
That way, you can start to branch out. That's how you get to other cities, other states. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it starts at home, and then you just branch out. 100%.
That's tight. What was I to say? Oh, so what are you doing with Michigan State? You're just online right now?
Oh no, I'm not online right now. I'm a part of Alpha Phi Fraternity Corporation.
Yeah, but that's all the way down there. How are you?
Nah, I crossed in fall of 2018. I have Neos now who are currently running their yard up there.
Yeah.
And I just hybrid as far as classes. So like some of my classes are either online or in person. So I just stay home the way I don't have to pay that cheese.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did you drive here from Lansing?
Or? Oh no. I'm here around the city. So that's where I stay. When I'm not like in East Lansing and everything. No, it's just a commute for me, but it's not that hard. We just had our Founders Day party this past Saturday, so that was dope.
Founders Day party?
Yes, sir. It was a statewide shout out to the Mafia. But no, that was
what's it like to be in a fraternity?
Oh man, I love it. I love the brotherhood, man. The greatest fraternity ever founded. You know what I mean? So shout out to all 8 of my line brothers, the mob, my dean and AD. Sock and Juwan.
It's like lots of secrets and stuff, isn't there?
I mean, we don't have to get it. We don't have to get into like the whole spiel about fraternities and sororities, but we are a beautiful group of 9 organizations that make up the National Panhandling Council, the NPHC, and we stand on key principles and values that our founders, embedded within the organization, and I feel as though that by being in these organizations, it does help us branch out to different things from the fraternities, whether that be a different career path or a different opportunity within community organization, or whether that be you at the forefront of different type of conferences. These organizations are gateways to success. And I feel as though that I'm fortunate enough to be part of the best one. And so, I love my organization. And I'm proud of my chapter, the Theta Delta chapter. I appreciate you for asking that though, because a lot of people don't know about fraternities. It's good to just educate people, because that's all it is. And just make if you're informed about something, you can either inform somebody else, or you just you're aware. That's all that matters.
That's what my podcast is all about.
Exactly.
It's learning
that's
shit.
The title of the podcast. So you're doing exactly what you know what I'm saying.
I don't know nothing
you
about
set out to
that
do.
stuff,
No, that's why I appreciate you for asking, bro. You standing on why you started this.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No doubt, man. That's all I love.
But so you got into golf during high school?
Yes, Sirski. You feel me?
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I didn't start playing golf till like about 2-3 years ago. When I was 23.
I started, so it sprouted through the Midnight Golf program, which I was a part of my senior year. That was my class. So shout out to Bus One, the best bus, the only bus, Monday, Wednesday group. It was founded by the beautiful, the one and only, the GOAT, Miss Renee Fluker. She had the idea to create an organization to put kids in the best position to win, to succeed. By utilizing the sport of golf, college preparation, career development, and beyond. And now she has been able to employ so many people, many mentors through the organization, sent dozens of hundreds of kids to school through the organization. Like, I'm so grateful for the Midnight Golf program. I don't even know how I could write like books on how appreciative like people who have been a part of the organization. And through Midnight Golf is how I learned how to play golf, as well as how I got prepared, for life after high school, prepared for life after college, I will say. And I picked it up also, which led me to being a caddy. I started caddy in my, I was a caddy before I started Midnight Golf program, but I didn't start playing until Midnight Golf, if that makes sense. So I knew about the game of golf my sophomore year, my freshman second semester.
Yeah.
And like that summer,
Yeah.
that's when I started caddying.
Okay.
And so going into like my sophomore year of high school.
That was like your job?
Yeah, that was my hustle. Man, what we made.
That's money. Yeah, that's money.
We was getting chicken
People
on the
don't
greens.
realize
You
that.
hear me?
Yeah.
So a
Especially
lot
if
of
they sell alcohol and stuff like that. Like,
I mean,
well,
golfers gonna buy certain beverages. They'll drink them while they playing, but we don't partake in that. I mean, some people may not. I mean, I don't know. I ain't ever been in the loop when I drunk. That's just not me. But golfers gonna drink. That's just part of the game. But being a caddy, man. That set me up for so much success. I ain't even gonna lie. Like being a black caddy, man, I met some millionaires, man. Man, it was a beautiful experience, and I feel as though I realized how unique it was as I got older, and I started learning more about the game and like the actual culture of golf and like what type of conversations were being had. And then now you look up. You got brands like Eastside Golf who partnering with Jordan Brand, who got Chris Paul on the team. You feel me?
Yeah.
And these are young black brothers, So for me to be able to see that through the sport, I'm like, oh yeah, even if I'm a caddy, I'm tapped into the culture. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
So from the age of about 13, 14 years old, I was on a golf course on the weekends, caddying or working bag staff, and I'm learning about business transactions. I'm learning about what CEOs do on a regular basis. I'm talking to lawyers, doctors. I met a NASCAR driver. Mark Wahlberg used to be at the Plum. And you got country clubs like DGC, Plum Hollow, the Frank, Oak, so Red Run, and black caddies are predominantly the best within the sport. In terms of like where we're, like the area, I'm speaking on like Detroit and surrounding areas. Black caddies are the best. So we stand out just off of the strength that we're dominating as a skill. Around that age group within predominantly white sport, we're learning key skills of like talking to different other professionals, networking. And so a person like me, I'm like, oh, this free sauce. So now instead of just talking to a golfer and telling them like, yeah, I'm doing such and such, I'm doing such and this, I'm like, no, I'm asking questions like, no, so what advice would you give to a 23-year-old getting ready to graduate from Michigan State University? They looking at me like, oh, that's a great question. Because you understanding the mindset in the environment that you in. I'm caddying for 6-figure dudes.
No matter, let's not even. They're smarter.
Exactly. And most of them is white, so they already, it's already a barrier that's not being talked about just because I'm a black person, and they're white. But that's besides the point. I'm looking at at face value like he up 6 figures. He's been through things that have propelled him in life.
Regardless of what privileges he has, he can teach you something.
And the fact that he has those privileges, I'm looking at him like, I'm carrying your bag for 18 holes. I'm getting something. I'm coming out this loop with something. You hear me?
Exactly.
So my thing is, I take advantage of all of those experiences within my life, and I just make those like a snowball effect. How can I make caddying apply to my business? What did I learn from that experience that could be involved in this strategic session? What did I learn from football that could apply to me, being alpha? What did me being a part of, Alpha Fraternity Incorporated help me start my business? Like everything is just interconnected. It's like a web. You know what I'm saying? This podcast is gonna be a part of my legacy. This is where we made an imprint. This is what we made, a staple for your brand. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to be able to be a part of that. So now when I want to reference something, I can be like, oh yeah, I got a YouTube video. You can go check out my man's page. It's right there. And then they gonna look at you like, oh, he didn't interview X, Y, and Z. He didn't talked about this. Now they want to get on your podcast because they see your work is putting value. So my thing is, I like to soak up all of that energy. So I'm very appreciative, and as you can tell, I got a lot of energy. No problem, bro.
Like energy.
Like I told you before the podcast, like I said, I had to go. I tweeted. I said, before the year over, I'm about to be a guest on the podcast. I'm about to do a pop-up shop. I'm about to have my strategy sessions. And boom, we met when the weekend that you all came and you all performed. We exchanged contact. We set the date up, and then manifested it. And I'm like, bro, you see how God works? So it's like, that's how I live my life. If you see it, write it down, think about it, pray about it, and go after it. And it's gonna fall into place. You just got to keep your head down, be patient, and grind. You feel me? Like God, that's how you be in your Duffy. Duffy season. 25-8.
I want to go back to the golf thing real quick and tennis because one of my biggest regrets is my grandfather. He was he's not my blood grandfather, but he married my grandmother and basically was in my life my whole life, But he was like semi-pro tennis player, and he was good. and he was black, and I would always notice that he was one of the only black people in all the clubs and stuff like that. But always the most respected athlete out there. Like he's smoking college kids, like tearing them apart.
Get busy.
But me, I thought I was too cool to be seen playing tennis, so I was playing tennis with him and stuff, and I was good. But then I was like, I can't be seen on the tennis court at high school, blah blah blah. You know, and I fucking hate myself for that shit because I think I'd be nasty out there, bro. I'd probably be pro, like you know what I mean. I really don't doubt it, but like I'd like to use my voice to tell all these young athletes that were like me, because I played football too.
Yeah.
But when you play football, especially if you're a skill player, you can do anything. You can play basketball. You can do whatever like you want when you're a skill player. You know what I mean? And I just wish I would put that energy into high school or college or tennis and golf during high school, because that just would have been. It just came so natural, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But
I mean, you still
thought I was too cool.
It ain't over.
No, I'm not afraid to play now and do stuff like that. I'm saying in high school though, that would be my peak. That would be my prime. You know what I mean? Like that's also my I went to a good school that was heavily recruited. Okay. The whole district was heavily recruited.
Right.
But I just wasted that because I wanted to be just cool at football, you know. So I think it's dope that you were like, fuck all that, and was still out there. You know, was there any moments for some of your homies like golf? What you doing on the golf course?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Man, I'm from. So, well, first and foremost, bro, I want
especially the hood.
I mean, I want us to give you your credit, regardless, of you not finishing out that sport or those sports at that time. You still turned out to be a dope person, and you still got time to play those sports. Like, ain't nobody say like you can't do it. Obviously, high school, has surpassed like as far as time wise. But like, bro, you living your life, you creating stuff. So I personally just saying like, you ain't gotta beat yourself up about it. But I always like to give people like, give them love. So nah, bro. I say like, pick up that racket, pick up the golf club, pick up all of that stuff, pick it back up, bro.
Yeah,
let's get on the tennis court. You
we'll
feel me?
Definitely golf this summer, bro.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, bro, for sure. But to answer like your question in terms of like my homies like cracking jokes or whatever. Oh yeah, I went through. I used to get horsed in high school, But then I say it started to the culture kind of changed when they realized how much paper we was getting. And they started the jokes kind of like simmer down because we was the ones that was coming to school with that shit. So you know what I'm saying? But especially at Rennie, everybody knew who the Plum Boys was. You feel me? Everybody know who worked at Plum. You knew where Plum Hollow was. You feel me? You knew who worked there because we was the ones who talked about it. We was the ones, you feel me, who was letting it be known. It wasn't even about the money. Well, let me not say that. It was, but at the same time, it was just the fact that we were a part of a culture that we not necessarily supposed to be a part of. From a society standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, because especially in my school, there wasn't very many people of color, but obviously the ones that were obviously my friends.
Exactly.
We all stuck together. So I did about my little group of homies being like, bro, we don't golf, we don't play tennis. Like, we don't play, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I was afraid of. I wish I would.
And to add to that point, most of the people who were caddies, we was on the football team. We was on the varsity sports, the basketball team. We were the popular kids. So it's kind of like, how can you hate on us because one, we getting money and we involved in 3 different sports? Now at that point, you just hating on good stuff. Yeah, you just hating. But then again, that's kind of the culture of the city. People gonna appreciate once they see the value has appreciated. Yeah, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though being a minority, a part of those different type of environments and those different type of like cultures, it puts us at an advantage because one, they're not used to seeing our faces in those arenas, especially when we providing the value. Yeah. If I'm the caddy in the loop, you need me just as much as I need you to finish the round because one, I'm not about to be working if there's no golfers. And then golfers don't want a caddy if it's golfers need a caddy if it's a walk-only course. So it's a mutual, hand-to-hand exchange. We independent contractors if you want to be frank. You know what I'm saying? If this is the set price for my services, and you know what I'm saying, it's appreciated if you give a tip, but at the same time, in golf, we know that's a sport that most affluent people are a part of. Let's be real. So when it comes to compensation, the value got to match. You know what I'm saying? So when you are a good caddy, you're gonna get paid well. And so when you look at people who are minorities, a part of these sports, who are actually playing, let alone being a service provider, man, black tennis players, black golfers, black gymnasts, black hockey players. Like, we need all of that. That's how we really change the game. Like, shout out to Deion Sanders, what he doing at Jackson State.
Yeah,
he just wanted to sweat. Like, you hear me?
I think that shit's so dope because he don't need to be at no college like that. Like, he could be anywhere. He could probably teach a pro, like coach a pro. You know
For real.
What I mean?
And the fact that he went back to a HBCU to do that says a lot. And now now all of these black students and black athletes who will get or minority athletes and minority students, let me say that, who will get recruited at these PWIs. Now, they thinking like, hold on, Jackson State kind of teed up right now.
Yeah.
So it's like all the dynamics is, you know what I'm saying, that the dynamics are there for people of color. We just got to make sure that we enter in those spaces, do it with pride, authenticity. Man, that's one of those words that get me, authenticity, for sure. Do it with pride and authenticity.
So like,
I just said it wrong again.
What do you say when one thing I'm learning is, you know, there's a lot of people affected by capitalism and all that, and the way I was raised around here, but then also my grandparents, as soon as they got everything they needed, they dipped, and you know, so it's like I got to experience our city and then experience where they moved to, you know, and like I guess I found out that I was just ignorant to like all the different systemic racism and like just all the like oppression and redlining and all the stuff I haven't started learning until like the last few years. You know what I'm saying? But then so I know all this stuff has happened, and you know there's a lot of people held down, a lot of people lack motivation after all that shit. But it's like, how do we get our people to just, you know, be like, I know, but just pick up the shovel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta keep playing the game, or we gotta at least start playing the game, or like you know what I mean, with that, but also still be considerate of, you know, people's situations, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, how do we inspire and still be considerate and still like, you know, because capitalism is the game and it ain't going anywhere anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but also we can be victims, or we could, you know, ride it out, you know what I mean, and play the game, you know? So it's like, how do we express this?
I don't have a concrete answer for that question. Yeah. And that's just off of the strength of there's so many answers. There's so many different avenues to go about answering that question. Yeah. I feel though what's important is to just understand where we are right now. Not where we are right now, but understand that where we have come from in terms of this system that we live within, you know, this white, you know, supremacy was not ever meant for us to prevail within. And when I say we, I'm talking about people of color. Yeah. It was never meant for
foreign nations.
In general, all black people,
people,
Mexicans, Latinos, Asian Americans, Indian. White people did not make this system for all of us to be successful within it. I feel as though that it's gonna take us to band together and to support one another, because we have to make sure that we hold ourselves together. Yeah, we do a lot of making sure that other people are good during certain, you know, downfalls, but when it's something that's internally for our community, we don't band together to do the same thing unless it's to a certain magnitude, or if it's a certain person who has a certain status. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like, why can't you just do that for your brother, your friend? Yeah. Why does it have to take a strenuous, you know, act for us to, you know, come together? I feel like you got to start with yourself first. Yeah. You got to figure out, okay, what is it that you feel as though you want to make an impact in, and what's greater, you know, within this world for you. Yeah. And you have to surround yourself with the right people, and you got to start there. Yeah. You know, it's good to think about the world and how you want to be able to be a change agent within that. I believe everybody should do that. But at the same time, you have to start at the home first. Yeah. Some people aren't even the best, you know, siblings, but yet they want to be a mentor for another person. When it's like at home, how if I'm looking at you and your brother's relationship, I'm like, and you want me to be your little brother, I'm looking at it, well, you don't even treat him good. Yeah. So it's kind of like we got to be accountable, and I hold myself accountable because I love my little brother to death, but I know I fall short on some things. But but he's never been at a position where he can say like, oh yeah, my brother don't love me. Oh no, he'll never say that because I know I pour so much into him. Yeah. But at the same time, I could always do better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody else feeling like they got to be a big brother to my little brother. He's never gonna feel like that because I'm gonna always make sure that he knows that look, I'm here for you. I love you, and I feel like us being vulnerable, a part of within that is gonna help too. And I be my vulnerable. I'm talking about just as us being human beings. Like we have to be empathetic towards one another. Because it's a lot of hate out here that we gotta repatch with love. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
That's another reason I started this podcast because this anger starts with ignorance. You know, like especially through the Trump era and like everything we had to go through last year with.
I'm sorry, I went on a tangent too. Like
no.
And while I was answering your question, but
no, that was perfect. You brought up a lot. Actually. Like I like that you're bringing up how you gotta fix yourself because. Like, I talk about changing the world all the time, but the last few weeks, especially diving into all this shit, I'm like, I gotta change myself first. Like, I gotta really work on myself.
Like that, man.
Especially, like, this summer, man, and during the pandemic, picked up a lot of drinking, you know what I mean? So, like, last few weeks, I'm like, all right, I gotta be done drinking, or at least, like, make it just a social thing, you know what I mean? No more drinking at the house, like, not shit like that. And I've been going to church again for, like, last 3 or 4 weeks, so... But
more power, more prayer.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I just been like, in order to change the world, you gotta change yourself first. You gotta be the example, you know, and be undeniable and everything. You
do. Progress, man, no doubt. But it ain't easy.
Yeah. Mental health is important. You got what do? You do any reading on self-awareness and like mental health and stuff like that? Any books or I guess what do you do?
Yeah, so I actually am glad you asked. I can actually show you. So, I'm actually on a 21-day challenge right now, meditation challenge.
Okay, dope.
It was started by my homegirl, my friend Nico.
Yeah.
You can follow her on Instagram at Simply Priceless, and she has a 21-day challenge going on right now just to inform people about taking care of your health, your energy, your space. And she's doing it through meditation. Yeah. So she also does sound bowl therapy, so check her out too. And this challenge, today was day 7, I believe. Okay. And so she asked that you just for 5 minutes, comfortable space, you know, sitting down, relax. You can cross your legs, or you can just have them stretched out, whatever comfortable for you, and you just meditate. So close your eyes. And you can either put music on, or however, you know, whatever meditation looks like for you, because there's no right or wrong. You know, you just do that for 5 minutes for 21 days. Man, when I tell you, it has definitely made an impact. Just like in my my day-to-day routine. Yeah. So I do meditate. I pray. I have surround myself with the right friends, the right people. I work out. So like my morning routine is prayer, meditate, eat breakfast, go to the gym. Okay. Like I gotta do those 4 things, and then obviously within the midst of that, because I'm not gonna be oblivious to my habits. I'm probably checking phone, emails, notification, but I'm putting myself first throughout that day before anybody. You know, like from like a me standpoint, like I gotta do these things. I'm up at like probably like 5:30, 5 o'clock, 6 in between like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning every day, get my routine done. So those are things that I do to mentally make sure I'm good. I do read. So right now I'm reading a book called Battle Cry by Jason Wilson. He is an entrepreneur, a mentor, mental health advocate, a father, just an all-around great human being. And I had the privilege of meeting him last month in person at we was working out at LA Fitness, and we saw him working out. Or actually, we found out he was in the gym when we checked in, and then we saw him as we were leaving. I'm like, hey, that's Jason Wilson. Like, you feel me? It's not a lot of bald head dudes with a nice, good, great beard, you know. And I'm like, that guy, that's him for sure.
Yeah, you follow him on social media.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, when I seen the beard, I'm like, beard, bald head, I'm like, that's got to be Jason Wilson. Yeah. And then obviously they said he was in the building, so I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. So me, my mans, Troy and Chris, we walked up to him and we was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, we appreciate you for your content. We're just looking at you, you know, on Instagram and your podcast. Like, we appreciate you doing for the community. Because my man's Troy, he was actually a part of Team Hype, which was where Mr. Wilson, you know, mentored and did service at. Oh, no. So that's how they connected. And then Troy put me hip to him and Chris. just off of research. So we already was aware about who he was prior to even meeting him.
Yeah.
So when we saw him, it was more so like we was just like, thank you for just being, you know, who you are and pouring into just people. And he turned her favor and was like, thank you all. So we looking at him like, man, like it's almost like that black man experience of like, I'm trying to get like you. I'm trying to get like you. So it was just that back and forth exchange. It was just pure love, pure black boy joy. And so I picked up he gave us 3 copies of his book all for free, signed them and everything. So shout out to, you know, Mr. Wilson. I'm reading a book, learning about like emotional incarceration of like, you know, suppressing like your deep down, you know, trauma because you feel as though you don't know how or don't want to let it out because you feel like that vulnerability is a weakness. Learning about that. And he's a black man. That's how I identify myself as a black man. So it's like hearing that, but even taking a step further, just men in general, you know, we can relate to that just because of the environments that we come from and what we've been a part of and what we've been exposed to. That's repetitive trauma. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Generational curses.
Exactly. You know, being from Detroit, I grew up around you know, drugs, grew up around gunshots, grew up around, you know, the liquor store that we walked to getting shot up. I grew up around, you know what I'm saying?
The men we were raised around were really macho and, you know, like,
very masculine. That was just, you know,
toxic. We can see our women.
Exactly. I've been around that.
Well.
And you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I love my family to death, and I'm not blaming them for any of that. I'm just saying that was just the culture for myself. And a lot of black people and a lot of people, minorities just in general, men are taught to be providers, to be stand-up men, to be strong, to never show weakness. Women are taught to be, you know, caregivers of the family, to be emotionally there, to be stable, to pretty much be the second, you know, person in household in charge, to be, you know, the caretaker for it. That's like the social standard, you know, as people of color, and especially, and I'm speaking from a black perspective, but I feel as though that is not healthy.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
we can't teach our young black girls and our young black boys and, you know, other people of color's children who go through these, you know, systemic racism and oppression and trauma. We can't teach us to suppress that. No, we have to learn how to get it out and walk and talk and grow through those situations. Reading this book has taught me like it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to cry. It's okay to release that anger. It's okay to just decompress. And so like for my mental health, you know, like my journey and the things that I've been through, it's been a huge eye-opening experience. Like a year ago today you know, we're in December 2021. Around December 2020, I had already been to 2 different psychiatric places. It was Pine Rest in Grand Rapids and Havenwick in Auburn Hills. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia within like a 2-month time span. I had a relapse after my first visit.
A relapse of what?
Marijuana.
Oh.
And they sent me back to the mental health hospital. So that was like in between. Like, so went to Pine Rest first, had a relapse, went to Havenwick. So first time I got diagnosed with schizophrenia. After the relapse, I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So in a span of 2 months, excuse my French, I'm feeling fucked. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, God is getting me through all of this shit. Yeah. You know, it is like really weird because I'm like, and I believe in God, and I don't want to offend anybody who, you know, is religious or anything. I'm just talking from my personal experience. So that's just what I stand on. I'm looking at God like, why am I going through all of this stuff, and what is the purpose? Like, I need something. Like, help me out. So I just started talking to him. I started praying. I started just kind of like removing certain people out of my life. I started being present in certain spaces that I normally was present in. I literally deactivated my Instagram. I was about to deactivate my Twitter, but I didn't because and I had some talks. It was a lot going on through my head, you know. Yeah. It was just a lot of chaos. I didn't have no peace. Yeah. So what I did throughout those 2 months, after going through, you know, therapy and things, still going to therapy, it's like I really just said I got to be selfish. And so like I would say like 2020 was like that year where I just experienced a lot of just selfishness because of trauma that I went through reliving. And then that carried over into 2021. Like I just been extremely like, I have to take care of me. And it's been such a major improvement within my life. Like,
hey, sometimes being selfish is the best way to give back.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I can't give back if I don't be selfish a little bit.
If I'm empty, I can't do nothing.
Yeah, if I don't take the time now and be a little selfish to get what I need, what we need, what the community needs.
Exactly.
Like, you know, I gotta make some sacrifices and cut some people.
And I'm blessed to have a foundation and a support system that has been there since day one. Yeah. Like, shout out to my parents for sure. Like, first, you know, God obviously, then my parents, because my mom and my dad, they did everything in their power to raise me, and they did an awesome job. Yeah. And now I'm my own man, but obviously they still love me. They still, you know, give me help, and I'm blessed to have that. But at the same time, they let me know, like, you know, you do got to figure some things out, which I appreciate, because I'm not the type of person where I want to be. I want my hand held. If anything, I'm the most stubborn, you know, person that people know, just because I did adopt that mindset of I got to get it my own by any means necessary. While that is okay in some cases, you can't be oblivious to the fact that you're gonna need help. Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? Accept help, and there's some people that want to help.
And it's not a weakness of doing.
Yeah, now that's a big problem I have. Like, even with this girl I'm dating, like, she's already like well off, and I tell her time, like, I'm not in a position to date. Like, I'm just not. Like, I don't got the money like that. Like, I'm really busy doing a lot of different things, and she doesn't care about none of that. And so I had to get over the fact that she has money and that I don't. So, like, she's like, don't care about the money right now. I just care about, you know, the relationship.
Hey, that's love. Shout out to
and like, I be telling her, I'm like, you know, you don't have to date me. I'm like, you can, like, you know, like I got some shit to work on, and I know it. So, you know. And that's another reason I'm like getting sober too, because I'm like, all right, if she's gonna put up with me, I should probably at least be sober. Like, I should probably at least chill out on that.
Yeah, but one thing, real one though.
One thing I have read though is, because, you know, everybody's like, oh, marijuana is completely harmless, blah blah blah. But I have heard with people that are bipolar or except for with schizophrenia, that marijuana can be a whole nother beast for them. Like, you know, so how does that affect you, or like what was getting high like for you? Like,
so
marijuana wise.
Yeah, so I will say that I still participate in recreational cannabis, and I'm gonna break down, like, you know, my experience, because I'm comfortable with doing it. Okay. In 2020, it was rough for me just because of, like, the lockdown. I was inside the crib every day. I was living with my LBs during the time, so I love them to death, and I appreciate them for helping me get through that experience. But just as a man, I'm in the crib every day, doing the same things over and over. It was almost like living in a twilight zone. Yeah. So, like, I was at living off campus in East Lansing at the time. If a lot of, and you know, I'm gonna just be real, and I'm gonna be real raw. It wasn't really nothing to do but smoke, drink, eat. Like, literally every day.
That's literally how I started drinking.
I mean, my
like,
thing
so
is,
much.
in the lockdown, I feel like the price of, like, Casamigos, Patron went skyrocketed just because people was just smoking and drinking every day. Yeah.
Especially 7-Eleven started selling liquor. I ain't never seen it sell liquor like that. You feel me? It was beer was one thing, but like straight liquor, like Jack Daniels and all that, never seen that shit. I like it till the pandemic.
And then for me, weed was my outlet. Yeah. Being inside, I needed something to decompress, but I was using weed as a way to escape what was going on in reality. I was using that to detach from my emotions, my feelings, because I'm like, bro, I was trying to, you know, going through a breakup. I was trying to, you feel me, talk to other girls after the breakup, trying to build the business, graduate from, you know, finish up school, all of these things. But I wasn't taking care of myself at all. But me smoking weed felt like therapy. Yeah. But I was doing it, bro. I'm talking about, like, just me alone, I'm going through a quarter a day. Yeah. One, that's expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you're rolling up, you're definitely going to do
exactly.
That. And
so I buy, let's say, like, for example, like, I buy a quarter today. Out of that quarter, I'm probably going to face an eighth, and then the other two, I'm probably going to match with somebody else. I match with the homies. Yeah. I'm doing that almost every day. I'm blowing through cheese. It's the pandemic, so, you know, I don't really have nowhere to go. Money is I'm paying my bills, so all this excess cheese, I might as well just get high. And you feel me? Like, get through. Man, it was a toxic relationship I had with myself. Yeah. And then it was literally, I seen, like, friends just dissipate out of my life. I seen mentors just kind of, like, I would not remove, but love me from a distance. Yeah. Certain friends loving me from a distance. the way I would, my brand on social media, like how I was portraying myself, you know, that took a decline.
Yeah.
People, my friends telling me like checking in on me more than they would, like mentally, am I okay? And I wasn't, but I'm trying to push this narrative of I'm Mr. Duffy, I can do that. And then to the point where it's like, nah, bro, like your shit stink too. Like you ain't all of that, big dog.
Yeah.
And I felt like I went through a period of being checked, like. People held me accountable. Yeah. Before I went through that, I held myself to a very high standard, and so did other people, just because that's the relationship that I wanted to build. But it got to the point where I kind of felt I got the big head. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I got to do this. I got to speak out on it. I got to hold up this image. I can't talk to these people. I did that. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it.
Yeah, I turned into that person.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm smoking weed every day on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm constantly probably not even aware of how I'm acting or treating people, just because I'm on 1,000 every day.
Yeah.
Then I crashed. Went through my whole health episode when I started addressing my mental health, and then from like that point forward, it was just like a stuff just started to change. Yeah. I started realizing like, wow, looking myself in the mirror like, yeah, bro, you got a lot of healing and work to do in yourself. Yeah. And so it's been over about a year now, going almost a year and a half, just being able to go to therapy, open up more, be extremely vulnerable, learning more about like how to accept help, how to not blame other people for why things are going bad in my life. Yeah. Owning up to like, the decisions that you make are creating these domino effect. Yeah. So it's like, check yourself before you want to point the finger. So for me, it's more so like a learning experience every day. Yeah. Every day I learn something new about myself, and now I get to the point where it's like I'm so emotionally vulnerable. That's damn near stronger than anything. Yeah. Like I approach situations to the point where it's like, I'm gonna be open minded, I'm gonna be empathetic, because I ain't got nothing to hide. Yeah. If I did, and this is, and I hate to go extreme, but like, if you want to be real, I know for a fact there's going to be a day where I'm no longer going to be on this earth. Mm-hmm. So I know at the most extreme, I don't have nothing to fear. Yeah. I have nothing to be afraid of. Everything that I want or I'm aspiring to do, I can obtain. I just got to put the work in. Yeah. I have to make sure that I'm okay to do that. I got to make sure, okay, am I okay? Is my mental health good? Did I eat today? It's like a step-by-step thing, and it's just a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? So me being able to go through that process of being feel like at the peak and then hitting rock bottom and then working myself back up, man, I feel like a totally different man. Yeah. Even going bald. Like I cut my hair last year, you know what I'm saying? Just even making that switch. I felt like that was almost like a new beginning for me. You know how like the girl do the big chop? That was like my big chop. That's funny shit. So it's like just overall, bro, it's just a learning experience. Learning how to be a better man, learning how to be a better Andrei. Yeah. Not focusing on about what everybody else doing or what other expectations people might have. Like, nah, just accept what you get. Yeah. If the Andrei that you getting now is different than the Andrei that you met a year ago, just accept that. Yeah, because people change.
It's so good that people are supposed to change, and if they don't, it almost not changing is like getting every single question wrong on a test. Like you didn't even, you had to try to get every single question wrong. Especially if it's like true or false shit. Like you had to go out of your way to get that many questions wrong because you're just being stubborn or like, you know what I mean, or whatever it is.
Like JC said, like he said that same exact thing. He was like, people will look at you and frown like you've changed. Like you think I've amounted to this amount of success and you want me to stay the same as I was before.
Or you think I worked this hard just to be the same person I was in the hood?
Exactly. Like, no, it's not. It's the same. Like I'm working hard to get out of that situation. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to understand that everybody might not like the change that you're making, and that's okay. Yeah. If anything, you need to continue to what you feel as though is best for you. That way, those people can just weed themselves out. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because the world is gonna adapt itself to the unreasonable man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, mental health is so important in men and kids now. That I feel like we gotta stress that because
for sure,
like when Nipsey Hussle say, we gotta handle disrespect differently. We can't just be fighting. We can't just be putting in the system. You know what I'm saying? We put ourselves in the system by not checking our mental health or by not being vulnerable or communicating or like not handling disrespect the wrong way. Like, you know what I mean? We just put ourselves in these systems that are already made for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, there's ways to stay out of that. One thing I want to talk about is the NFTs and crypto. Are you involved in that at all?
Yeah, man. I'm involved in that right now, actually. In terms of like researching, planning like my own collection or investing in somebody else's. So I am on that right now. I'm very like involved. It's really the next generation of wealth, technology, control, access, like crypto for sure. Blockchain technology taking over. So yeah, bro, it's definitely it's this whole world, and you got the metaverse now, artificial intelligence. Like, it's about to be a whole new ball game in the next year, the next, what I'm saying. So
and that's one thing I'm dedicated to, is making sure that the hood has access to that, so we don't get just straight pressed out of that. Or,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Because the whole point is to decentralize everything, and to not have gatekeepers. Right now, there's none, but down there might be some gatekeepers that own like a lot of shit, or you know what I mean, be able to make some calls or whatever. So I really want to make sure that our people are educated on it, because it's like some people are like looking at it's like, this is the reparation opportunity. This is like where you get your property, get your land, get it for cheap. You know what I mean? Get your assets together while you can. You know what I mean? Stop buying weed for a week, or you know, like buy into some of this shit. Like,
whatever you gotta do.
Like I got crypto.com. I'm invested in them. I'm expecting them to go pretty far. So they just bought the Stable Center.
Changed the whole name.
So
crypto.com.
Yeah, I had a good feeling about that one since I saw the name. I was like, this is a business name. Like everything else is kind of like this random name that confuse people, like Bitcoin and Doge or like Ethereum. It's like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? But when you call something crypto.com, it's like straight to the point. You know? You're like, oh, okay, it's about crypto. It's a genius marketing right there.
There's NFTs out right now where you can buy domain names.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Because imagine somebody has an NFT, and the NFT allows you the access to a certain domain name.
Yeah.
So like, imagine somebody has a domain name of metaverse.org.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Obviously, I don't know what parameters. I mean, that's a very far-fetched.
I'm about to go buy all them. But look, Target, TJ Maxx. I'm buying all those.
The NFT is the only. The NFT is the only way you get access to the domain. The NFT is 50 Ethereum though.
Yeah,
that's a ticket.
Yeah,
hear me?
Depends on what you're buying.
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like the NFT market right now,
blockchain
for artists, like it's really about to change the game. So shout out to people like Sheefy McFly, who really tapped into it. He's one artist who I kind of keep up with in terms of how he's utilizing his skill, his art, who he collaborates with, because that's why social media is a beautiful tool. Sheefy McFly might not know who I am, but I follow his page and I support him. So the things that he's posting.
He's from Detroit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I just seen something. He worked with the culture creators or something.
My baby from the city for sure. And my thing is, he lives it. Like, he has murals all throughout the city. His murals are downtown at Decked Out Detroit, where the drive-in is. Like, he has a green one that's covers like the, I think it's it's a tower. Yeah. It's he has that. He did the roller rink that was downtown off Monroe Street. He did that, and he has his own NFTs too. He traveling. You feel me? Like, he's tapped in. Like, that's somebody who really takes their art and they maximize the full potential of it. Create utility behind it. He got his own wiener dogs, I think, like collectibles.
What?
Yeah, bro. Like, bro, really in his bag. So shout out to Sheefy McFly, man. Big love from me. You already know.
Yeah, I'm teaming up with a homie named Demacia, and he's
that's my boy. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we're teaming up, trying to make a gallery that is NFT inclusive and also a cannabis environment.
Every time I see him, he got a brush in his hand.
Yeah,
like he or Mike, one of his, you know what I'm saying? He in his back too. I met him at Backwoods of Bonfire, and I was doing a pop-up shop. He played me in chess, and he over here painting. He said he was gonna come play me in chess. Like he did one of his artists work. Came over, played me in chess. We chopped it up. Ever since then, we just been locked in. I see him out at different events. So the fact that y'all connected. The world is, you know what I'm saying? The world is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him too, bro.
Yeah, we're working on that if you ever want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, man.
We're talking about building like a gallery down here, or trying to get a venue set up or whatever it is.
However, I can be assistance, man.
And have a bunch of TV screens, you know, like show the art, but like make it all, you know, gallery like and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
But
we tapped in, Mattel.
Shit, we've been here for an hour. I don't want to take too much of your time.
No, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Anybody want to shout out or your Instagram handle or anything like that?
Yes, you all can follow me on Twitter at 2_Dre4. That's 2_DRE4, as well as Instagram ADNII98. Once again, that's 2_Dre4 on Twitter and ADNII98. Shout out to my mama. Shout out to my daddy. Shout out to the mob, man. You know what I'm saying? Love everybody. Appreciate y'all. Free A.
For sure. Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. I think we learned a lot, talked about a lot. And I can see, I feel like we're going to have a good friendship going on from here on out.
Man, it's all love, bro.
Like, you know, it started at the Cali Square and then the podcast, and now we'll be networking for life, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all tap into the podcast, man. Don't stay ignorant.
Tune in. Yeah, don't stay ignorant. It's a good acknowledgement. Just don't stay ignorant. All right, peace and love.
All right, look.